Peace and greetings, everybody. This is Taliba Aset, Nasia L, the Money Metaphysician, and today I'm going to be talking about the situation with thousands of people protesting outside of the Georgia Department of Labor, actually kind of giving a reality check and, just kind of giving a rundown of what I think about that whole situation. And we're going to be starting right now. So there was an article that was posted, I think August 5th. I'm going to actually share my screen and read the article to you guys about how thousands of people in Atlanta, Georgia. I live in Augusta, so I'm kind of like right up the road from Atlanta. But these thousands of people, they are outside the Georgia Department of Labor protesting because they have not gotten their unemployment check. So before we get started, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share my screen so that I can read to you, and you can read along with me. Um, what the article actually says, and then we'll get down to the business of kind of talking about it and kind of getting a kind of economic or financial literacy reality check, right? So let's take a look at this article here. So this article was posted on here August 5th, 2020, and well, it says updated. But it says thousands of Georgians say they are on the verge of losing everything because they have waited for unemployment checks for up to 5 months. Channel 2's, I guess, Taisha Fernandez was outside the Georgia Department of Labor in downtown Atlanta Tuesday. A group of unemployed workers and, get this, elected officials said held a protest. Held a protest at the office. There's a quote here. I'm 69 years old, but I work 2 jobs just to pay the bills every month. I haven't had a paycheck since March 13th. This lady, Carmen Lindsay, said. People like Lindsay have been calling their elected officials for help because they don't know what else to do. Many of those officials have met with the Georgia Commissioner of Labor, Mark Butler, to discuss the concerns, but they say those talks are getting nowhere. We've heard the same things regurgitated over and over about the problems. People need solutions. It's the first of the month. You have people getting ready to face evictions. People's water and utilities are going to be disconnected. And right now, we're trying to stabilize homes for virtual learning, Representative Kim Schofield said. And it's trending stories. Some people say the system is so backwards that college students are getting money while they get nothing. Someone else says they have kids out here getting unemployment checks for doing nothing. One woman told Fernandez, absolutely nothing. I work and I pay my taxes. I haven't received not $1. How freaking fair is that to us? Fernandez reached out to the commissioner's office to get a response to today's protest. The following statement was sent. We here at the Georgia Department of Labor are very disappointed in the actions of certain members of the Georgia State Legislature. After working with several Georgia legislators from both sides of the aisle, we implemented a process for these elected officials to forward information to our office regarding older claims. Ironically, some of the legislators present at today's press conference have held their constituent issues personally handled by the men and women working inside the location they spoke in front of. Both Representative Scott and Representative Schofield have submitted 63 claims for review in the past few weeks. Of those claims, all but 5 were resolved with payments issued or a determination of ineligibility. The outstanding 5 are complicated claims and are continuing to be worked on. It saddens me that politics has gotten to the point it has here in Georgia, where elected officials will misrepresent critical assistance for political gain. I do, however, applaud the 95% of other legislators of both parties who have been consistently helping us identify individuals with serious issues with their unemployment claims. More gatherings are planned for the rest of the week in Georgia. It gives some dates for these things. There's a video, and that's essentially the article, right? So, that's where we are. This is it's a sad thing, right? And it's not sad for the reason that I'm sure that everybody thinks it's sad, because everybody's talking about how, all of these people are out here not getting unemployment checks, and they have worked, and they 5 months they haven't had any kind of income. It's sad because their only hope, I guess, based on their limited knowledge of what's available to them, their only hope is to go and get an unemployment check. Like, their only hope is an unemployment check. That's the thing that's sad. It's sad that your only hope is to be employed. That's sad. And it's sad when we live in a country where free enterprise is available. And I know that people like to have excuses about why they can't do something. But to be honest with you, the times that we live in, anybody that has an idea can start a business, but you don't even have an idea. The fact is, you can start a business and earn income from home. From your phone, from your laptop, as easily as you could pay something like Candy Crush, right? So let me try to put this in a frame for you. So between April, right? So there's one lady says that she didn't have income. She has not received a paycheck and has not had income since March 13th, I think she said. Okay, so between April and today, I personally have earned from home over $10,000. That's not to brag. And I've earned that $10,000 in one money system with my phone. And all it took was for somebody to give me some information and for me to take action on that information. That's it. That's all it took. It didn't take anything else. I think it's sad when people have been so removed from tapping into their own greatness and their own natural abilities to provide for themselves, that they would default to having someone else take care of them, And I'm trying to be real careful about how I speak, because I have a tendency to be very blunt, and I have a tendency to be very matter of fact, and I have a tendency to be kind of like, okay, actually, honestly, socialism is going to kill you all. If you don't learn how to take care of yourselves and you keep depending on a government that does not care. The government officials are not your officials. You have to understand that they're not your freaking officials. They do not work for you. They only work for the commander in chief, which is the president, and they only do his bidding 100% of the time. What I'm saying to you is that there's no way that you can continue to go through life the way that you have before. So, it's interesting because last night I posed a question to my team, and I told them that I was going to answer the question here in this video, because the question that I posed to them was, what was Charles Darwin's greatest discovery, and how is it important for you today? And so his greatest discovery on the Galapagos Islands was that, he's traveling to all these different islands, and what he's found was that when he first got to the first island, he found that there were animal species there that didn't exist anywhere else that he had been. But then traveling from island to island, there were different species on each island. And what he noticed was that each species of animal had adapted to the food and to the climate and to the environment of that island, right? Because they're separated off from each other and from, essentially the rest of the world. And so each island has its own flora and fauna, but this flora and fauna now has adapted to the environment. And the animals and the flora and fauna at the place, plants and animals do on each of these islands, those that fail to adapt fail to survive, right? And so that's where the idea of survival of the fittest and natural selection comes in, right? And so what I'm saying is that's important to understand. That concept is important for you to understand, because the way that the world is going now, if you don't learn to adapt, you're not going to survive, because what's happening now is not designed for you. It is designed. Trust and believe when I tell you it's by design, but it's not designed for you to survive. Just like the environment was not designed for the survival of the animals and plants on those islands, the survival of those plants and animals was dependent upon their ability to change and adapt to the environment, right? And so what's happening now is you have a lot of people who do not have basic financial literacy skills, who have no idea how to do anything besides work for someone else. And in lieu of that, depend on government subsidies to take care of them, when those things are really actually traps, because there's no such thing as free, and anything free costs freedom. So everything that you do in the sense of wanting something for nothing, then that sets you up to trade. You're going to trade your freedoms. You're going to trade your liberties for those things. And you have to understand that. You have to understand it. It's a sad thing to see so many people so upset because they don't have the basic means to survive, or they don't think they do. Actually, they really do. Actually, they really do have everything that they need, because they have a mind. They have creativity. They have imagination. They have the ability to apply information. They have all of those things. They have all these God-given talents, and their mindset is so stuck on one thing that they can't see outside of that box. And that's a sad reality for people. It's not sad that the the unemployment checks have not been paid. That's not sad. It's sad that people don't know that they have other options. That's what's sad. That's what's sad. And very much that is why, you know, I I guess that's where, I came up with the idea to create the Montage Your Life Network, because I saw a place where, um, well, first of all, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about finance, and I learned a lot by having to fix my own situation. And I found that I have a knack for educating and speaking and showing people how to tap into their own greatness. I have a knack for pouring into people. So, there starts this idea of how can I take these abilities and the knowledge that I have and put them to work into, to help other people without having them to have to break the bank. And what I found was there were opportunities out there that I could make myself part of and take advantage of and use as tools within a community, a grassroots movement, if you will, that would allow people to be able to, one, earn income for themselves by learning how to utilize these systems, right? Not just utilize the systems, but also leverage their relationships. And then while they're earning, they could learn how to properly manage their money. So when it comes down to money management, there's earning and then there's properly saving, which most people have no idea or concept about. And then on top of properly saving, there is then the proper utilization of money. And so I became, I already held a doctorate degree in metaphysical science, which made me, um, gave me the competencies to coach and to teach. And then, which I really did need as well, because I needed to be in a situation where I could coach, and teach from the concept of living out soul purpose, right? For stepping into your own power and stepping into your own magnificence. So I needed that. And then I needed the several platforms that I put together so that I had a way that people didn't have to pay me to teach them. They actually would get paid to learn. And then I needed, uh, uh, the right people to come with me, and I was fortunate to meet, the founding members or the core group of the Montage Your Life Network throughout my life, and they came aboard and basically, started to help other people become aware of what we were doing and how, we seek to help other people, because it's not about, um it's not about, gaining as much as it is about pointing to other people and having other people step into their greatness. But it's also about having people learn, how to become whole, and to deal with not just financial literacy but personal development, so that they see their own power and they're able to step into it, and also deal with leadership skills so that they know how to communicate well and they know how to assert themselves properly in the world, and so that they are able to adapt to situations as they change, and they don't have to find themselves protesting outside in August, in the hottest month of the summer, with no doubt with face mask on. You say you're cutting off your oxygen supply in the hottest month of the year. You're upset. You're already, probably short of breath, and it's just a stressful and unnecessary situation, because you don't even need the unemployment check to begin with, right? You don't need it. You don't need a paycheck. You don't need an unemployment check. You don't need a stimulus check. You don't need that stuff. You can do whatever you need to do yourself. It's just a matter of understanding what's available to you. And that's the problem. You don't yet know what's available to you. And so, you know, to be real short and sweet, I saw that article and I said, that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about, not it's nothing wrong with these people. They're hurting, and it's sad because they don't have to hurt, and even sadder because these elected officials who are out there so-called speaking for them are not representing them. They're actually representing the agenda to gain power, because they know that as long as they have those people receiving that check or that aid, then they have them, then they own them and they have control, right? So why would you not tell your constituents, look, you know, maybe you're not able to get this check, but there's a million other ways that you can make some income. Why not tell them that? Why not tell them that, most of the stuff you learned in school was not right anyway, and schools have taught you pretty much to be a taxpayer, but being a taxpayer is actually hurting you, right? No, because they need taxpayers. They need these people to be dependent on jobs, and they need them to believe that they need all of this stuff, because as long as they believe that, they'll continue to give up their liberties and their freedoms, and they'll continue to be slaves and cogs in the wheel, you know, of the greater agenda, right? And I don't want to get too deep into that. What I want to impress upon you with what I just said is the fact that there are other ways, right? There are other ways that you can do that. You can become a member of the Montage Your Life Network. You can check out one of our community meetings. We have one every Sunday. We have a reading roundtable every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We have a community meeting where I talk about a financial literacy concept that's open to the public. It's free. You don't have to pay anything to be a part of it. And then within the community, we teach y'all to use these platforms so that you can earn some income. We teach you some concepts so that you can position yourself a little bit better and change your money story. But most of all, so that you have the ability to pass these concepts, tools, and strategies down to your children so that your family never has to deal with the generational curse of poverty ever again. So that nobody in your family, if they choose, will ever have to worry about any type of check ever again. Right. And so that is the thing about these articles and what I see and what I think about. I hate to see people hurt so bad, and I hate to see people hurt unnecessarily. I hate to see anybody feel hopeless when it's something that they can do. I really do. Um, with that being said, y'all, I'm gonna get out of here. If you feel like you enjoy this video and you want to know more about the Monetize Your Life Network and what we have to offer, please reach out to me at Taliba Asset at stayhomeandearn.club. You can visit my website at www.themoneymetaphysician.com. Actually, there's a contact page there that you can get on. The best way to get me is through the email address. It's scrolling at the bottom of the screen, so you can back up the video, write it down, shoot me a quick email, and I will get on the phone with you. I'll try to help you out and guide you as much as I can, and start to show you how you and your families can come together and nobody in your family will have to worry about money. That's not something that you really have to worry about. You know, it's just a matter of understanding that the difference between poverty and prosperity is information and choice. I have all the information you need. What to do with it is actually your choice. With that being said, y'all, I'm going to say peace, power, and prosperity. This is Taliba Set, and I see a L, the Money Metaphysician, and I'm out, y'all.